Welcome to this Tea and Tights Northwest Brit Wres special as we speak to the man behind An Evening with Cameron Solas. He is also the man behind the socials of TNT Extreme Wrestling. Please welcome to our show, Ben. Is it Cecil?
Cecil. Cecil, thanks so much.
How are you doing today? I should have asked before we came on. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. This is the hard-hitting journalism bit that people have tuned in for. The people need to know. I'm doing absolutely swell, my brother. How are you doing yourself?
I'm really. I'm got the hay fever come back a little bit, but I'm okay overall. But what about yourself, Dan? How are you?
I'm good. I've had a very busy week of decorating, floor laying, and generally making the house look respectable. So, yeah, I'm happy to be off that and on here.
Indeed, because we are, of course, the Great British. We are, of course, Tea and Tights, a Great British Wrestling podcast for Great British Wrestling, as featured on bodyslam.net, brought to you by Power Forward TV. I'm your host, the Great British Taku, Mr. Andrew Moore, Andy Tumos, and joined, as always, by the co-host, Big Daddy Dan, Mr. Daniel Allen. Just Dan, for short.
Now, I am very happy to have Ben on today because the Northwest is having such a strong influence on the whole of the UK, and you know it better than most. So we are going to pick your brain, have a good discussion about what's coming up, and have a good chat with you about your new venture with Cam Solas, which I am very excited about. I think it's a great idea.
Brilliant. Yeah, go ahead.
Excellent. We'll start with, because I mentioned you're the guy behind the socials of TNT Extreme. There's somebody who once ran socials media for a different type of, absolutely completely different type of work. What's it like working for the social media behind what is, I suppose they are the biggest promotion in the Northwest at the moment? Yeah, they are. They are the
without doubt.
And yeah, what's it like doing that?
Well, I absolutely love it. It allows me a chance to, a lot of people, when they say they loved wrestling growing up and dreamed of working about it, obviously that's true for me. But when I grew up, I always loved the content that you would have seen on WWE.com. I always loved stuff that added a different dimension to the product, something that complemented it, and that's what I'm buzzing to do, I love being in control of the socials and putting out copy and extra stuff like that, just because not only are we promoting the product, we're getting people in the door, which, obviously it's goal number one, but also it just, first of all, like Twitter, so important these days because that can be people's first impression of the product, but also it allows me to be a little bit creative and say, hey, this is what's going on in 280 characters or less. Which I find so exciting.
You got 8,000 followers on Twitter for TNT Extreme. It is a very respectable number. It's also a zero ahead of us, so we've really got to work on our socials, Andy.
Definitely. But I mean, what we tend to get, do you actually work behind and create some of the socials that we actually see, some of the graphics and whatnot, or do you bring somebody in?
Okay, so in terms of like the wonderful graphics that we use, we have a we've got a graphic designer for that, the in-house. Wonderful job being done there. But then obviously I get the graphics, and then any written copy, any written content, I create it hand in hand with that, and then I just make sure that it reads well, it goes out well, and it promotes our product, and that's what I love about that. So. And that's something I'm looking to step up in 2022 to just get more written content out there. I'd love to like as much as I can possibly do that complements the product, gets people in the door, puts eyes on us. That's what I'm excited about. But I work very, very closely, not just with our graphic designer, but also with our videographer and editor, Ant Jones. Shout out Ant Jones, hardest working man in the business. And that's how it has to be done. We work closely, and then we get it done. So
I love the fact that you do put out different things on Facebook to Twitter. You do take advantage of the different wordings and that, which is brilliant. It's so boring when people just copy and paste the same things across. So I do really appreciate that. What other social media outlets have you been using, and do you see yourself using any different ones coming up?
So the main one that we've been looking at, we do have an account I don't have as much input in this one. However, we're all sort of partially responsible for social media output one way or another. Is TikTok. So we've been really trying to get more content, not just across on TikTok. We've got a lot of video content that we do produce in terms of promos and hype videos, but we also create a little bit of content at the shows for TikTok itself, which has been doing reasonably well. Obviously, that stems more into video, which I'm not. I love everything that's been done at the minute. However, that has less and less to do with written copy, so that's less on me. However, I think TikTok is a fantastic market to look at. It's so popular at the minute. Everything on there is so fresh, and it's all about capturing people's attention. Because the videos are so short, and I think that's something that we can do. We can capture people's attention. So any other formats we can use to do that, I'm all for. We also do use Instagram as well, which I think is perfect for those really, really beautiful graphics that we put out. So capture people's attention, and so those are the three main prongs for me: Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. But as I say, we're always willing to add another bow to our bow carrying bucket, as it were.
And it's a big bucket. I've been chatting with my daughter about TikTok because they have set themselves up and have got 94,000 followers in 2 weeks. It's terrifying. It really is. So they think that we should be doing some social media news and saying about all the different Brit Wres things that are coming out. So maybe
there is a surprising wrestling community on TikTok. There's lots of people, because it's so easy not just to post content, but also to start conversations, and it's more social than you'd actually expect. So, that's something that would be good for news podcasting. Certainly would be good for us. WWE have taken very, very good advantage of it. It's just one of those things. It's just a matter of time. Obviously, if we had more hours in the day, we'd love to devote more time to TikTok, but it's just one of those things for now. But definitely on my plate for 2022, I'd say.
Well, TNT's probably got the best style of wrestling in the UK for TikTok, because you have so many amazing spots coming out of the different pay-per-views. And also, it's not just TNT Extreme. It is, of course, TNT Ignition as well, which are giving out some amazing matches at the moment.
Absolutely. I'm so proud to even just be involved in my capacity with TNT Ignition. Obviously TNT Extreme, it's so amazing, and the stuff that we're putting out, obviously I get the graphics over and it just blows my mind what we're doing. But TNT Ignition, I really do think it's a sleeping giant, just because the stories that we tell, the people that we're platforming, it really is something that people are missing out on, I think, at the minute, and they really shouldn't be. It is, as I say, it is just a show that people shouldn't be missing out on, because I think the quality is always consistent. The stories that are being told are amazing, and I always think that I never have felt disappointed with an Ignition show. Never felt disappointed with an Extreme show. But with Ignition, it has blown me away every single time.
It's brilliant because it's developed its own brand recognition in the last little while. It's not really seen as just it's the second brand of TNT. It's where the young guys do their things. These young lads and girls have, turned that promotion and made it their own.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely agree with that. We've got so many people who are doing their own thing, and I would definitely, in my view, as such because you have to be a fan when you're in this game. I definitely think of myself as a voracious fan of what we're putting out. I totally agree with you, and I think you've hit the nail on the head by saying that they've made it their own. Some of the work that people like Shreddy, Gia Adams, Cameron Solas, JJ Webb are just putting out just on a consistent basis. It never feels like developmental, because it never feels like a place for the young guys. They're smashing it every time. So I always view it myself as just a show simply with a different value, but rather than simply the lesser show. So
yeah. because it has the family friendly aspect. You get the younger children there, whereas TNT Ignition is strict over 18s only.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I am desperate to come up to a TNT show at some point, and I think the ones that I will be coming up to are the ones on my birthday weekend, which is when we get the visit from the Americans.
Oh yes, yes.
GC Dub. Must be
Oh,
looking
absolutely.
forward to that.
We have been anticipating this keenly for some time. I can't wait myself. I think this is going to be. Obviously, we can't wait to have that partnership and work with them on the weekend. Or it's going to be absolutely amazing. What I'm looking forward to more than anything, not just having the show and obviously having the GCW people over. I am looking forward to impressing everybody the world over. I'm not necessarily 100% aware of what the perception of TNT and outside of the UK is, but I really hope that we can surprise people and show people, okay, they're not just going over there, and that it's not just a platform for GCW to get their shows in. It's not just pre-made infrastructure. I really want people to watch the shows and go, wow, this TNT is something else. This is nothing like. I want them to know what we've been knowing for the last 5 years or more.
Yeah. I really want to see Ninja Mac versus Scotty Rourke. Two martial artists squaring off, throwing kicks at each other, because I love Ninja Mac. I've only just started to see his stuff, and wow, he's just insane.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people I'm personally, just in a personal capacity, I'm looking forward to seeing. Just when you've touched on Scotty Rock, I can't help but not say I think he's absolutely incredible. He really, by all means, he should be everywhere. I think, as a performer, he is just absolutely insane. He always impresses me, and one of the nicest people you could ever hope to meet.
He's just had some amazing tattoo work done, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
God, that back piece, I can't imagine sitting that long for a piece. It's just phenomenal. But that's obviously going completely off the point. Who are you, not saying they're definitely coming, but who from GCW are you particularly looking forward to seeing if they come, when they come over, if that person comes over?
So if that were to happen, who am I most buzzing out of my box to, get the graphic on socials and put that announcement out there? For me, it's Ali Catch. 100%. I've been an admirer of her work for some time now, and I think that when she comes over, especially with the women's division that we have both on Extreme and Ignition, she's going to absolutely tear it up, and it's going to be absolutely sick. To that end, I would also love to see Effie and the team of Bussy as well. I think that is going to be absolutely incredible. Matt Cardona, I think, this top of everybody's wish list. I think that's going to be absolutely incredible. Obviously, I know we've already had Alex Colon. He's our current TNT Extreme champion, doing a smashing job of it. But always look forward to seeing him, because he always takes it to the next level, and he's absolutely incredible. And I'd also like to see, obviously not a talent in the conventional sense, but would like to see MLJ come over and have him work with Mad Dog, and because I think that could be that'll be fun, I think.
That would be very cool. I can see them working together really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's some great workers on GCW. Wouldn't mind seeing young Nick Gage, but he won't be old enough to actually compete on TNT Extreme. He's still only 17, isn't he?
No, I mean, to be fair, listen, I'm pretty good at the paperwork and the admin, but I don't think I can pull off that kind of magic to convince the home office. But hey, I know look, as it is wrestling, I will say never say never, but we'll see what happens with Nick Gage.
True. So we've got Ali Catch and Effie now. Dan, I'm going to ask you this one first. Who would you possibly like to see them face, either as a team or in singles competition? And then I'll ask you, Ben, who you would like to see them face, either as a tag team or in singles competition?
I would like to see them as a tag team, and I would like to see them against the She-Wolves. And I would enjoy that very much.
Ben, what about you then?
So that took the words out, not out of my mouth. You gave me an idea that I didn't know I wanted, and now I wanted it. but I'm not going to scrap my original answer. I would love to see, I would absolutely adore, I would give a kidney to see it. I'd want to see Ali Kaj versus Alexis Falcon, but I think a lot of people do. I think that match would be off the hinges. I think that's a main event anywhere. Could like main event over the men. I just think that would be absolutely insane. I think that would be tremendous, to be honest with you.
If it's going to be if Ali Catch was going to take, then I'd have Effie versus Dan Maloney, two hard hitting people that could really just batter each other. On a comedy side of thing, I'd like him as a tag team against BDSM.
Oh, okay. Oh no, yeah. I was thinking the same. Well, I was thinking along similar lines. I think they could do something special against Gene Money and Session Month.
That would be
Sold.
good as well.
I think that would be very, very interesting. That would be something I would be definitely not opposed to seeing myself.
I mean, granted, I am a huge She-Wolves fan, and at some point I will finally get to see them live. But you might have just beaten that with Gene and Session Moth. I think that actually would be fantastic.
I think it'd be a really good one.
Well, to be fair, I do love the She-Wolves. Not to go too off track, but I think like at Thrill Kill last year when they won the tag titles, that was just such a special and cathartic moment that we all loved. You know, so. We've got a lot of love for the She-Wolves, and I personally think they're incredible. So,
yeah, the crowd reaction when they won, that was something special. They really lost their minds because they over the past year before you guys came back, they were being booed out of the building as Dirty Hills. But once they returned, for some reason, they just got it just growing and growing, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then it was just. They'd always been magic, no matter whether they were good guys or bad guys. I think they were just magic, and I think it's just. I think sometimes like not even just with the She-Wolves, just in general. I think sometimes it just gets to the point where you're so good at being bad that people just grow to love you.
It's a respect thing.
Absolutely, yeah, 200%.
And speaking of the fans, TNT do have some special fans, don't they? They are.
Wonderful fan base, absolutely.
They are loud.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I'm gonna have to start bringing ear defenders. Like I definitely think of at Thrill Kill this year when Scotty 2 Hotty emerged. That was, to quote Jim Ross, that was as loud as a sustained roar as I had ever heard in my life.
It's the way you got the guys, you treat the fans as well, the VIP packages, the meet and greets. It's everything like that that helps the fans get to know the talent and the people behind the scenes and just makes them want to love the promotion more.
Well, like we love the fans. I mean, I know like every promotion and every worker on the planet should love the fans, but we always go our way to make them happy. You know, like we do everything we can for them. I know that as an announcer, because this is something I've learned from my great mentor, Mike Angus. Mike Angus will always say hello and goodbye to them. Like he'll go out, like I always try and go out and see the fans on show days. He will always say goodbye to them as they're leaving. So we just, at the minute they walk through the doors, we want them to know that they're welcome and that they're valued, and we actually respect their time and money being there, because you know at the end of the day they paid money out of their own pockets that they've had to work for to come to our shows, and they could have been anywhere else in the world and they chose to be with us, and I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and also TNT have been amazing supporting other wrestling companies.
Absolutely.
Having other companies come along and get to do showcases, which is brilliant. It's the way wrestling should be, everybody supporting each other.
Well, number one, right, we all win when we support each other, and number two, right, you've got to look beyond yourself to find, right, well, what's working, what's not working, is there anybody that's really popular, and then you give them a platform, and then you ultimately give back, you know. But like, you know, you can't just look inward, you have to look outward in a wrestling business, but you have to do it in a way that is ultimately restorative and not destructive. And I think that's something that we believe in, you know, just giving back, looking to see what's working, and ultimately, you know, like putting not just like ram rating for talent, but like putting a positive light and supporting each other. You know, we grow together. So
And also just the unique work of something like Extreme Fields, because as you mentioned, the showcase, we saw how many companies were showcased, but that's also something different for fans, and it can also bring fans of music into fans of wrestling, and fans of wrestling into fans of music.
Absolutely, you know, and like everything just folded together so wonderfully. You know, that it was a lovely day, and Electric. That's a venue that I'm familiar with myself, you know, and not in a wrestling sense, but I'm very familiar with Electric, aka the Crazy House, as a lot of people in Liverpool are. But yeah, it was just such a special day. You know, we brought together so many things, and not only was I proud to see the Superstar Boys do so well, but just to see other companies, as you said, come in and really represent. You know, it felt like such a team effort, and the proof of the pudding was in the eating there with how good it was. You know, and I'm very, very proud and to see, you know, just even being a small part of the TNT team, just to see Extreme Fields come back, because I just know it's going to be bigger and better.
So let's talk about your evening coming up, presented by yourself, an evening with Cam Solis. I mean, how much has Cam meant to TNT Ignition, to Liverpool Wrestling, and Northwest Wrestling as a whole?
Well, from my perspective, I think Cam is an amazing talent, you know, hard worker, really just an excellent, excellent guy as well. For TNT Ignition, you know, I mean, you'll know yourself if you've even been to one show. The reaction for him is always so loud. You know, he gets it. He always puts in a shift, and he resonates with all the fans there. You know, from young to old. You know, he really gets it. He's really switched on. He's been about for a while as well, so you know, I was really, you know, excited to tap into the stories, you know, that he'd be able to tell. And also, you know, like he being the Ignition champion. Of course, we've got the TNT Extreme Championship, but being the Ignition Championship, he is almost, you know, a flag bearer for the Northwest in that way, you know. So, not to say that he represents the entirety of the scene. It's so diverse, and I'm grateful of how diverse it is. But you know, he like holding that title in my mind makes him a standard bearer, you know. So just even in the last 2 to 5 years alone, I think there's just going to be a wealth of things to talk about. So initially, I wanted to do the event. I would have thought about doing a podcast, but I think you can attest to how much work that would be, you know. And also, you know, I'm a very much it'll be all right in the night kind of character, and I like the magic that live that brings. So I was really attracted to doing that, and I thought, well, you know, and I established a good working relationship with the venue around the corner because I've been doing my pub quizzes there, and I thought, you know, it was just the perfect storm of things. Me and Cam have been talking about doing something for ages. Like this was like well before the pandemic, so it just seemed like the time to capitalize. So I'm so excited that this is finally coming together. So,
and it's great value as well. It's only £5 a ticket, and you will get a chance to have a chat and listen with Q&As as well. I just think it's really, really good value, and you've got photo opportunities too.
Absolutely. So we're gonna have. I know it's normally Tony Knox, who I absolutely love, but like one of the best men in professional wrestling, one of the best photographers as well. However, like I'm gonna defer on this occasion. It will be my friend Matthew Gregson, another great talent, you know, great photographer as well. Yeah, the £5 price point. Quite simply, you know, I am confident I can deliver a good interview. Cam's going to be great as always. At the same time, I wanted to give value for money. I don't like ripping the arse out of it. I'm not concerned with making buckets of money. You know, profit margins are going to be quite thin, but at the same time, I'm more concerned with putting on a great night that everyone can walk away and think that was amazing. That's number one for me. I'm not concerned about walking away with a fat wallet. I want to put on a great night that everyone can just have a good time at. That's my number one focus.
I would love to know what it's been like for him to have been one of the top graduates of the Fighting Spirit Academy and under Zach Gibson. So I'm sure he must have some wonderful stories about that gentleman.
So yeah, I'm really looking to tap into that and hear all the stories from that. And then obviously, you know, he's been further afield, places like Rise. So you know, which you know, like I really need to get up for a show one of those days, just because they really do live up to their tagline. But yeah, I'm really just excited.
Are you aware of the character he plays for Rise? Because they're a bit more character based, aren't they?
Yeah. So like, I haven't actually been to a show myself, but like I've seen like bits of what they've done, and like but obviously it's just a bit further out of the way, so I haven't actually been down. Tell me a bit more, sir.
Because I think he likes the death match over in Rise, like he does on TNT Extreme, and I do believe he plays a bit of a vampiric goth.
Oh, okay.
You got a lot of people. Crash Boat are the boys down there, so they're just Boy 1 and Boy 2. They're not Jake Silver or Jack Bandicoot. Sure. I can't remember who else was there. There's a few others, but I do remember he plays a bit of a gothic vampire. So again, I'm sure there's going to be some great stories behind the choice.
Absolutely. I'm looking to get ripped into that and so much more. March 10th, get your tickets now. So sorry, I had to get that in there. But yes, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I actually have to say though, like I envisioned it when I came back to the idea like earlier this year. I wanted it to I was thinking more about a platform to like give people who maybe not so much aren't getting recognized, but just give them a chance to have an interview and talk it through. So that would be something I'd like to come through and come back to in the future. But I just wanted to start off big, like really get people's attention. Cam Solas, boom.
As you say, there's going to be plenty of stories that he has, because he's had an interesting career. He's 6 to 8 years that he's been around.
Sounds accurate. Yeah.
So he's, and as you say, big matches against huge opponents from
absolutely
left, right, and center. And
exactly.
Recently, the TNT Ignition champion. And sorry, I'm just going to, because you said March 10th is 10th of May, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, I do apologize. Yeah, sorry. You can tell I've just you can tell it's been a long day for me. I do apologize.
May 10th. What we will do is
we'll cut that out and make it look seamless.
What we'll do is when we release this, we'll make sure that in the connection underneath in the YouTube there'll be a link to where you can buy tickets. So we'll make sure
that'd be beautiful. Thanks so much. Yeah.
So you're a pub quiz master.
Yes. Well, I don't know if I would call myself a master, but yes, I've dabbled in the quiz from time to time.
This is also something that I do often, so I can imagine you're going to be very good at controlling your crowd, who are going to be making some very interesting questions to Cam and getting them going as well.
Well, to be fair, in a past life, I was also a teacher, so crowd control is not something I'm too averse to.
We were recently interviewing Tommy Kyle, who is doing some amazing things down south and heading up north soon as well. And he is a primary school teacher, and
right, okay.
We were discussing with him which was more challenging, wrestling or controlling small children.
I have to believe that controlling small children is way more challenging.
That was his opinion as well.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of us, I don't know why, but I've noticed that a lot of us in the wrestling game tend to be teachers, like the lovely James Greenwood, who I've got so much time for. And also a couple of other people, but James Greenwood, can't say enough about that. What a man.
He's top of his game. He really is.
Top of his game as a referee, top of his game as a human being. Couldn't say enough good things about that man.
We need to get in contact with him. We spoke when we were at Lancashire Wrestling Federation, we were speaking to him and mentioned about getting him on the show, because I like referees, I like the rules.
Now, an exciting thing that's just happened is one of TNT's biggest, most well-known stars appeared on NXT UK. It appears that Lizzie Evo has signed.
Yes, that's correct.
How exciting for her.
Absolutely. Well, we're all excited for her. I mean, on a personal basis, I would say that I've been working with Lizzie because I started with TNT in 2017, so I've known Lizzie now for about 3-4 years, and nobody deserves it more. We're all made up for her, and we hope that this is the start of many great things. So but obviously, I mean, I think we're all well aware of what she can do in TNT. She's proved it time and time again. all I'm going to say is if the NXT UK audience don't know, they're going to find out.
And they're going to find out fast.
Exactly.
Her series against Alexis Falcon main evented many a show.
Absolutely.
Really deserved it every time. Just put on some clinics.
Absolutely.
And,
so with the fact that we've got different people moving forwards, who do you see as some of the young talent in the Northwest and the UK in general that's coming up that you think we should be keeping our eyes on?
Oh, dear me. So this was the question I was looking forward to. And because I knew it'd be coming up just because, like, well, it's kind of a standard. But as at the same time, though, I had a good think about this one. And, like, there's so many names, but I've been able to pare it down. So I'll keep this as, well, not brief, but, like, if I said, like, everyone I was really excited about in the Northwest, I'd list off, like, 100 people. I don't want to keep you that long. Off the top of my head, like, some of the people I'm really excited about, first and foremost, Lucy Sky. Lucy has gotten better every single time that I've seen her this year. She just goes to another level. She's been getting so good, and I honestly think 2022 is going to be her year. You know, she's been slept on a lot. You know, a lot of people have maybe just thought that, you know, she's okay. She's going to prove them all wrong. I have seen her, you know, I've always thought she was good, but, like, she's just coming up and getting, it's just another level every single time. She's getting so amazing. And I think this is going to be her year. I'm a big fan of Polish Barry Haneke. He's absolutely amazing, biggest grafter about. You know, he works so hard. That's not fictionalized at all. You know, he's such a hard worker, always works hard. Matches are incredible. So I
he's
think
an
there's
anime
big things.
fan.
So yeah, so, like, he's big things in the offing for him, and he'll get there. VGS, love those guys, not only just for the matches that they're putting on, but, you know, Tommy, Casey, Christy, just so intelligent, so sharp. They really get it. So I think that they deserve to be everywhere in 18 months. Two more that I had off the top of my head. Danny Proper, probably, you know, not just one of the funniest people that I've ever seen in wrestling, but in life, but also just so good. Like, he's so funny that you almost get disarmed when you see him in the ring, because he just takes it to another level. Like, I saw him, I don't know if you saw this much, but Superstar, I saw him and Oscar Byron take on Made to Last, and that match was out of this world. And obviously, you know, he was such a big part of that. So big things in the offing for him. Like, I think he's been doing some really cool stuff at Catch. He is class. And then last but not least, Stacey Rose. She's coming up, and I think that, you know, like, this is going to be, you know, a good time for her. You know, she gets better every time too, and it's going to be exciting. You know, I know that she managed Lance Rivera prolifically. Also, side note, Lance Rivera, another name, although I think he's starting to break out. People are starting to catch on to Lance. But Stacey Rose, as she's coming up, she gets better every time, and I think she's going to be absolutely class given a year or two. So
I think
see, Lance, our guest can say nice things about you.
We are going to be interviewing Lance very soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully he has nice things to say about me. I must make sure I give him that tenner.
Yeah, I saw him wrestling for PEW and had a long chat with him a couple of weeks ago, and he is brilliant. He has got personality coming out of everything. He is a very good wrestler. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, the Northwest scene is looking so strong at the moment. It really is. In fact, North wrestling in general is making me a little bit jealous of being down here in Hertfordshire.
I want to ask the reverse of that question now. We've talked about the young guys from the Northwest, but what about the veterans that deserve to be on a spot on our Mount Rushton from the Northwest?
Okay. So do you want names. 4 for me, or?
Yeah, four names for Mount Rushton from the Northwest.
Of all time, or just right now?
Anytime. Anyone right now, or anyone, you know, even William Regal would count as Blackpool.
Okay, so in terms of like the North has ever produced, I'm gonna say William Regal, Robbie Brookside, Sam Bailey, and Blast. Number 4, Zach Gibson.
Bang on. I like that.
Yeah, that was short, sharp, and to the point. I love it, and really good as well.
Yeah,
really good. Zach, I think that might be the first time Zach's name's come up on our Mount Russian.
Well, it's not just the fact that he and JD are doing so well. You've got to think about his influence on the Northwest scene. I mean, so many people came through Fighting Spirit, and obviously, I wish we could have another spot on there so I could thank JD as well. But how many people came through Fighting Spirit? You've got to attribute, not just his skills, but the man's influence as well. It is absolutely unignorable.
Put him in as a tag. We'll let it go.
Yeah, let it slide. We'll have that.
Like that. Grizzled Young Veterans as a tag team. They fully deserve it. I hope they get big things in NXT. Just seen another British tag team come to NXT, so right. Hopefully they don't just throw Gibson, and because they tend to have a portion for, we've got new toys now.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. I mean, I only ever got to see Pretty Deadly once live. That was for Outrage, and I want to say 2019. That was at Hangar, so I would say it was 2019. Very impressive. So I'm just glad that they're going out there and doing great things. So happy for them as well.
I think for me, Grizzled Young Veterans and Pretty Deadly are the 2 best tag teams in the world. I'm sorry, Young Buck fans. I'm sorry, FTR fans. I'm sorry. Who else gets so?
Mustache Mountain.
I've got to say, that's just ice cold against Kings of the North.
Oh, Kings of the North. I would like to, but just Deadly and Veterans. Although I do love the Kings of the North. They've got a huge match coming up, actually. More on Kings of the North. Let's talk about this. NWA Tag Team Champions coming to not just face for the TNT Extreme titles now. It is now a titles versus titles match. That's going off big time. Have I got the date for it?
That'll be June 9th.
There we go.
So there was a date change. It was to be June 2nd, but it's going to be June 9th now, just so everyone's aware of that. I think everybody's reasonably aware, but just in case nobody knows, all tickets are being honoured as a standard. We don't do that on our fans, but all tickets are being honoured. But yeah, June 9th.
It's going to be one hell of a match.
You're telling me it's going to be absolutely. I mean, to be fair, Kings of the North never give anything less than 110%, but I think they're going to be, they're going to go a higher gear. It's going to be absolutely off the chain. I can't wait.
Had a long history of bringing over a lot of the best independent talents to Liverpool in the last few years.
Yeah, some really good ones that have been on recently as well, such as you mentioned earlier, Scotty 2 Hotty.
Absolutely. To be fair, something I've always admired. It's not just a Jay Apter thing, although of course shout out to Jay Apter, whom I love. I would but also shout out to Pete Blackham as well of Wrestle Island. Is that they're so sharp on the business that not only do they see what works and what doesn't, and who to bring over, but I always tend to think that they've got a knack to see talent coming before anybody else does. Everything that's going on at the island always feels so fresh and innovative. But the thing about the island is they always seem to give a platform to people before they really break out huge. Warren Banks seems to be doing really well down south, but he's been killing it up in Wrestle Island for years now. We've seen him coming for years. Same with Drew Parker as well. So,
and at the moment, Harley Hudson's looking to have some real good standout matches up there as well, because she is definitely a name to be watching this year. She is coming off that injury strong.
Harley Hudson is incredible. I really think that this is going to be her year as well. Just always brings it every time. Honestly, if you're not paying attention to Harley Hudson, you need to wake up, quite frankly. So,
and she is multi-talented. She's been doing really well with commentary as well.
Absolutely. So this I've heard as well, So I mean, I'm not thrilled because it's taken away a commentary spot for me. I'm only joking. She is fantastic. So I'm so proud to see her smashing it across the board. And it's like the scary part is that that she's not even in her 20s yet. So it's like 5 years experience, and she'll still be in her early 20s, like 24. That is insane.
Watching her power lift Troy Ryan of Synergy in that team. My God, wow. We call her the Scouse Mouse Powerhouse for a reason. She is 9 stones of Scouse power. Mm-hmm. And she's going to be part of Siren's Fury coming up.
Yes, absolutely.
And you got one of my favourite ladies from down south coming up for Siren's Fury as well, Clementine.
Oh, absolutely. Like there's so many just great talents. Again, Jay, just sharp eye for putting these things together. But the talent that's coming together. A cliched line, but I really believe in this. It's not just like the best in women's wrestling or the best in women's talent. It's just the best in wrestling. And talent, full stop.
Mm-hmm.
Gender is irrelevant in this case. We're featuring some of the best talent, and even more to the point of gender being irrelevant, I cannot wait to see Max the Impaler. I think they are really particularly going to impress, and I think they're going to be incredible. So
part of that massive fatal 4-way for the Extreme Women's Championship. Lexus Falcon obviously is champion. Riho and Ivy. I can't wait to see Riho stand eye to eye with Max the Impaler. That's gonna be
absolutely. It's gonna be off the chain.
Yeah, without doubt.
But yes, you mentioned Clementine, but more people making their debuts. You have Ava or Ava White making her debut. Aurora Tevers makes her full TNT Extreme debut. Is that right?
No. To my knowledge, she was at Siren's Fury last year. Although that may now don't quote me on this because normally I do rely on the excellent resource that is Cage Match. That may have been a dark match, but she was definitely at Siren's Fury the prior year.
I thought it was a dark match, which is why I said Earth.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no, you're absolutely. I thought you were referring to Ignition, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Doesn't take much to confuse Andy.
And
me as well.
The Uprising making their debut.
Yeah,
that's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to see Rio recently, and brilliant wrestler. And together with Sky, I think they're going to be pretty unstoppable.
Oh no, that is definitely going to be exciting, and I am confident that Jay is, so obviously they're all signs point towards coming up as tags. So I'm just waiting to see who they're going to go up against. I believe that Jay is going to firmly deliver. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Now, TNT Extreme have been one of the top opponents for women's wrestling for a long time. Are we going to see the tag titles unveiled at some point for the women's division?
Well, listen, all I can say is if you want to find out, go to wrestlingtravel.org and get yourself a ticket.
That sounds like the perfect spot to say, do we have any other questions?
Well, I suppose we might as well touch on it. You just mentioned Wrestling Travel. So Lee McAteer, Mike Best, new partnership. It's not a Progress TNT Extreme partnership. It is just the owners' new partnership deal. Just big things happening for TNT Extreme right now.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm definitely excited to have Martin and Lee on board. That as business minds, they're just so incredible, and it's something that's definitely going to take us to the next level. I think they're fantastic. They just add something so consummately professional to the backstage, and not that we were never professional before, of course, but it's just a different level. It's just something that's really, getting us to that next level, just across the board. So their involvement has been so great. over the last few months. So I'm definitely so excited to see what the future holds as we work together. Although I will say though, listen, I thought that Liverpool, Northwest Liverpool, I thought you were, either Liverpool or Everton. But I've got to say, on Thursday nights, there's a surprising amount of Tranmere fans in the house. Can't work that one out.
My mum, born and raised in Liverpool, is a Liverpool fan. Her other son, not me, is a Everton fan. I myself grew up to be a West Ham fan.
Hey, listen, I've got no disrespect against West Ham fans. They had some terrific players, and Green Street, was a hell of a picture. So there you go.
Which side of the border are you on then? Are you on the blue or the red?
Listen, it's a world exclusive. Like everyone's dying to know, I am a red. But of course, I'm Irish, so you could have seen that coming.
I think it's just a game for people that are too weak to play rugby.
Now, I played rugby in secondary school, and it is a tough game. But at the same time, though, like you never realize how much tactics actually go into football before you actually sit down and play it. I got a lot of respect for both games. Although to be fair, though, you're more likely to see Ireland winning things in the rugby, so I gotta give respect that way. So.
I was the cricket player down south, actually.
And you're on your own.
Yeah, I captained Hertfordshire, thank you very much.
Did you?
I did, up until I was 15.
I'm learning something
I was
today.
a county captain. I was a very good cricketer until I decided to do other things.
I found rugby was great fun because you could do the other things while you were playing rugby. It was great.
Excellent. Right. Yes. Is there anything else you'd like to mention whilst you got the opportunity?
All I've got to say is check out all of our shows upcoming for TNT, not just Sirens Fury, not just Aftershock. So Sirens Fury is on April 20th. Aftershock is going to be May 22nd. I would also like to put in a plug for Going Off Big Time, which is going to be June 9th. We also have the tremendous Evening with Theo Brown. Can't wait for that. Looking forward to hearing his story. So that's going to be a great event. That's going to happen at Top Rope Brewing in Bootle. I don't know if either of you were in attendance for the Scotty Too Hot Evening with, but that was great. So D'Lo Brown should be more of the same. I can't wait for that. Also want to give a nod to Wrestle Island. This is the Way is coming up May 29th, and Phenomenal Elite Wrestling Foregone Conclusion, that's going to be the 30th of April. So busy times.
You're going to be at the 30th of April show, aren't you?
I will be there because I am going to be having a wonderful discussion with one of the wrestlers there who I may have possibly annoyed.
Oh.
Yes, remember, every time you're there, you must interview H. Hood. This has been written into the contract by Jesse. Jesse Maria, of course, the general manager, has written it into our contract that whilst you're there, you have to speak to H. Hood. Plus, his tips are gold.
I can hardly wait.
And my friend, I'm going to avoid it this time and just let you suffer. Suffer alone. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, remember one thing. Don't feed the trolls.